Hello, Year 4 Dolphin class. Thank you very much for reading my book. I'm Alistair Humphreys, the author of The Boy Who Bite the World. Thank you for sending me your questions. They are great questions. There are also quite a lot of them, so I will get on and answer them. At speed, because no one likes slow answers. Who inspired you to bite the world? I was inspired to bike the world by crazy men and women who'd been on big adventures in the past and written books about them. And look, I love books. And got lots of books about adventures, and reading those books got me really wanting to go and explore. In fact, let me show you this. I've got a book. Oh. I even wrote a book about my heroes, the ones who inspired me to get on my bike and explore. Look, there's a Dervla Murphy on her bike setting off to cycle from Ireland to India. So yeah, I was inspired to travel by books, and also that's what inspired me to write books, is having really enjoyed reading them. Reading books is the best thing you can ever do to learn about the world and get excited about life, the universe, and everything. When did you start cycling? Well, I learned to ride my bike when I was about, 4 or 5. My dad sent me riding off, and he let go of the saddle, and I rode off and went down a hill and smashed into a gate and cut my face. That was my first bike ride. In terms of this trip, though, I started when I was 24 and I finished when I was 29. Who was kindest to you while travelling? That's a lovely question, because kindness was one of the biggest parts of the entire journey. People were kind to me in every country in the world. Rich countries, poor countries, black countries, white countries, Christian countries, Muslim countries. Everywhere in the world, people were kind to me, and that was one of the best things about cycling around the world. What was the best strategy for eating food you didn't like? Hold your nose, think of Queen and Country, gobble it down, and just try and force it down, and smile and say thank you. Maybe don't hold your nose if you're actually in front of the person who's cooked the food for you. Best landmark you saw? Ooh, that's a hard question. I'm going to choose the Great Wall of China because I camped on top of it under a big full moon, and that was wonderful. Did you see any dolphins in the Atlantic? Yes! Crossing the Atlantic on a sailing boat. Loads of dolphins, pods of dolphins they're called, would follow the boat, jumping in front. So I'd go right up to the very front, the pointy front of the boat, the bow, and I'd look down into the water to see the dolphins jumping. It was amazing. How did you feel after you got home? I felt a mixture of happy, sad, excited, bored, anticlimax, happy to be home, excited about future things, a bit worried that nothing would ever be exciting again. It was a real mixture of things. It's a harder question than your next one, which is, did you want a hot toilet seat after visiting Japan? Oh yes, sir. Yes, I did. Once you have visited Japan and enjoyed their luxury toilets with warm seats and all sorts of bells and whistles and funny noises and sprays, after that, a normal English toilet just isn't good enough anymore. Did you see the Nintendo Tower? No, I didn't see the Nintendo Tower, I'm afraid, in Tokyo, but yeah, I was more interested in the toilets than the Nintendos. Oh, no one has ever asked me this question. Which country had the best temperature to get to sleep in your tent? What an excellent question. I think the best temperature for getting to sleep in your tent is a little bit cold. Not -40, freezing Siberia, but equally you don't want to be boiling hot desert stuff either. You want it to be a little bit chilly so you can get into sleep and go, oh, and feel nice, but you don't want it then so cold that getting out in the morning or in the night if you need a pee is agony. So I need to answer this question. I would say European autumn is ideal tent temperatures, I think. What did injera taste like? Injera are the big, this sort of size pancakes that food gets served on in Ethiopia, and they taste really like a sour pancake, really. Would you recommend barbecued guinea pig? Well, these days I'm a vegan, so I would not recommend barbecued guinea pig anymore. But when I was cycling around the world, I ate barbecued guinea pig, and I have to say, it was delicious. How did you feel when you saw your friend Mitch in Tokyo? So I spent 4 years nearly always amongst strangers, nearly always with people I didn't know. They were nice and friendly and kind, but I didn't know them. So to meet an old school friend, Michitaka, who was from Japan and now lived back in Japan, was brilliant. To see someone who I had an old history with and connections and memories, and we could talk about people we both knew. So it was lovely to see a friend on the trip. And then, of course, saying goodbye to those people was always sad. When you made friends or when you saw old friends and had to say goodbye to them, that felt a bit worse than usual, because I was going to ride off on my own and be on my own for a long time again. Which country did you not like, and did you like? I liked every country. That is honestly the truth. Definitely, I would happily cycle through any country in the world and find it fascinating. What food was your favourite? Oh, I love food. Chinese, Japanese, Georgian, Syrian, Lebanese. They were pretty good. Which food was your least favourite? Japan has delicious food. It also has some foods that you think they're going to be sweet and they actually taste of fish, or you think they're going to be hot and they're cold, or you think they're going to taste of fish but they've sort of got chocolate in or something. And this surprise and the unknown meant that quite often I found that disgusting. But I also really loved a lot of Japanese food. How bad was the pollution in China? The pollution in Beijing was horrible. It was like a foggy, smoky day, and the sky was a sort of yellow, lemony colour with pollution. It was disgusting. It really was. How do you feel when you got home again? I've already answered that one. Right, these are good questions. Right, on to the next one. Excuse me. What have we got? 4 more sheets. Wow, here's a fantastic drawing of a Japanese person, a volcano, Chinese flag. Fantastic drawing here. Was it cold in... So I've answered the other questions. Was it cold in Japan? Yeah, when I arrived in Japan, it was really cold. It was the end of winter, and I was far north, which is quite near Russia, and pretty cold. And then by the time I got to the bottom, it was approaching spring, which is much nicer. Nice drawing of the Japanese flag here. Some great map here. My favourite English food. That's a very good question. I really love beans on toast. I'm very happily eat a lot of beans on toast. Was it tricky to bike the world? That's a good, nice description. Was it tricky? Yeah, I would say it was tricky to bike around the world. Right, here we go. Why did you choose to set such a hard goal? Well, if you set easy goals, then you'll definitely finish them. But that doesn't really mean that you're amazing for finishing the goal. It just means that it was an easy goal. So if you really want to find out what you're able to do, and you want to test yourself and try and do something really difficult and surprise yourself, then you need to set a massive goal. And you might fail that, but that's fine. It's much better to try it and fail it than not to try at all. So that's why I set a really massive goal. And the great thing is that humans, we are capable, we are able to do much more than we often realise. So if you set yourself a really big goal, you might surprise yourself in finishing it, like I did. Did I see pandas? No, sadly I didn't see any pandas in China. Did you learn any interesting words? That's a very good question. It's great trying to learn different languages in the world. What's an interesting word? Off the top of my head, I'll tell you how to say thank you in Ethiopia. Amasaganalo. That's a good word for thank you, isn't it? Amasaganalo. And these have been great questions, Dolphin class. Sorry I've gone on for quite a long time. So I'm going to say Amasaganalo, and good luck with all of your own adventures.